Comment 1906 says that you've mixed up a CDF and a PDF, so let's just go through the differences. First of all, a CDF you substitute into. A PDF you don't. A CDF you care about its Y coordinates. A PDF you do not. A PDF you care about the area under it. A CDF you do not. A PDF is 0 to the left and 0 to the right, except for the famous normal distribution. And it can do whatever it likes in between, as long as it doesn't cross below the x-axis and as long as the area underneath it is 1. A CDF is 0 out to the left and 1 out to the right, and it doesn't have these little unfilled in circles to indicate a jump in the graph, because a CDF must rise, or at least never fall, starting out at a height of 0 and ending up at a height of 1. Both of these are designed to give you probabilities. You get probabilities from a CDF by substituting into them. So when I put the number 5 into the algebra for a CDF, then that gives me the probability that the random variable is less than or equal to 5. How do you get probabilities from a PDF? By working out the area under them. So this thing here, I'm working out the area to the left of 5. How far to the left is determined by exactly what number I put on the bottom terminal. Finally, the look of a CDF is this, whereas the look of a PDF is this. Of course, you have to say when the algebra applies. These little squiggles are for the algebra. So in a CDF, you want the number 1 to apply after a certain kick-out point. You want the 0 to apply before a certain kick-in point. And in between, okay, so that's the look of a CDF, a 0 and a 1. A PDF just has a 0 otherwise. Now, because you substitute into this, it's really important that no matter what number you're planning on substituting in, it's covered. So if I sub in a 1, I'll get 0. If I sub in a 1.5, I use this rule. If I sub in a 2, I use this rule, not this one. Because there's a little bar there indicating that 2 is a possibility, but there's no bar there. Now just then I said you had to be quite careful in setting up to make sure that it's clear where you should substitute. But in fact, because this graph is supposed to be continuous and nicely joined up and always rising or at least never falling, then it doesn't actually matter whether you put that there or whether you put it there or whether you put it on both, because it's absolutely crucial that when you substitute the number 2 into this, you get the same answer as when you substitute the number 2 into that. Now, because you never substitute into a PDF, it doesn't actually matter if you leave individual points out as long as they're on the boundary of your algebra. So for example, it's not at all clear what I would do with the number 3 if I was planning on substituting into the PDF. Would I use this algebra or would I use this algebra? And the answer is, who cares? Because you never substitute into a PDF anyway. Now just the final thing, I said up here, who cares about how high a PDF is? That's not quite true, because the mode is the x value underneath the highest point. But that doesn't mean that you directly care about how high that highest point is. You only need to be sure that it is the highest point so that you can say what the x-coordinate underneath it is.